Kentucky Sour, a very classic, very simple bourbon cocktail. Its main ingredients are going to be sugar, lemon juice, and whiskey. So to start, we'll add our sugar, which is going to be a simple syrup. We're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of that straight into our shaker tin. Then we'll add our lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce as well. Fresh squeezed is always the best. And then we'll add our Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. We're gonna do 2 whole ounces of that right into the shaker tin. Then we're gonna add our ice and shake it up so we can get that cocktail nice and cold and a bit diluted. Pop that top on, flip it, shake it up. And we will add ice to our glass. And we are going to double strain that. For my garnish, I like to do an orange with a little cherry skewered through it. This is just pretty, it goes well with the drink, and it's a nice snack for afterwards. So we'll set that right on top, and that is your very classic Kentucky Sour. Easy to make at home and delicious. So now we're gonna take that Kentucky Sour and put a very fun, modern edge on it. Kentucky Sours are my favorite cocktail to do a spin on because the possibilities are endless. For today, I'm going to use the same classic build, sugar, lemon, and bourbon with a couple adjustments. So first, instead of a simple syrup, I'm going to use a rich syrup. This is a 2-to-1 ratio instead of 1-to-1, and we are using sugar in the raw instead of white cane sugar. We are going to do a 1/2 ounce of that straight into the shaker tin. Then we'll do our lemon juice, and we're going in with a whole ounce. Then for our whiskey component, we're actually gonna split that in half, and instead of 2 ounces of whiskey, we're going to do 1 ounce straight into our shaker tin, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, where all of the best bourbons come from. And we are splitting that with an AMARO called AVERNA. AMARO is just an Italian bittersweet liqueur. And we're doing a whole ounce of that. And then lastly, we're gonna add an egg white, which arguably may or may not be used in the classic version. A lot of people are turned off by the idea of drinking an egg white, but if you are the adventurous type, it is a delicious drink. If you are vegan and don't want to use an egg white, you can also use the water from garbanzo beans. It will have a similar effect. The effect that we're going for is making a meringue on top of the cocktail, a nice frothy whip. So in order to get that, we have to do what is called a dry shake, which means shaking vigorously without ice for 30 whole seconds. It has to be very strong. If you're super strong, you could probably go less than 30 seconds. You're probably gonna look really silly doing it. And the gases from the chemical reactions happening on the tin are gonna wanna make the tins combust. So you gotta keep a really tight grip on it. And you're just gonna shake, shake, shake. And we're gonna take a coupe glass this time. It's gonna be served up instead of on the rocks. Add our ice. You still have to go in for a regular shake so that it gets nice and cold and diluted. Pop that off and double strain into our glass. It's gonna have a really nice texture thanks to that egg white. As it settles, you're gonna notice the colors separate and the texture separate. That is a creamy white. It's one of the prettiest things about this drink is the presentation. For my garnish, I'm gonna do a couple drops of Angostura bitters right on top. You could keep it simple there, keep just 3 drops, and that is what I call a bittersweet bourbon sour. Cheers.